is 50 billion to 1. That chance even beats our chances of life being started by accident. It almost points to the existence of God. This is why we need you. Newton became furious and shouted, "You still haven't quite told me why you need me." The leader went on and said, "You like the way people of the universe have accepted you now, huh?" "Yes, of course." The leader went on and said, "We can't have a hero living in existence. At least not a hero that makes people emulate him. Because it distracts from our socialistic views. That is why the meeting place has gotten together again. Since you are practically a Superman, whenever something invades the lives of the people of our galaxy or does something we don't like, then we will use you to stop it. You will go by a different name on each mission that we assign you." Newton became shocked. The leader went on saying, "We know you can do anything. The Black Mutant was practically a god and you destroyed him. You will become the best tool of the Federation, and you will never have a dull moment. Never a dull minute. Never a dull minute. And if I object to this plan of yours, then we will be forced to destroy a few expendable planets with useless life on them, and tell your emulators that you're starting up your old tricks again." "Blackmail, huh?" said Newton. The leader said, "Let's just say you scratch our back and we will protect your reputation." Newton said, I knew all this, and the vengeance was all too good to be true. It was all a trick to get me into destroying the Black Mutant for you. In a way, I'm not free, and never will be. Not as long as you are under our power, and you are. There's nothing you can do about it. You are now a part of our socialistic government. Right? The leader shouted to the people wearing the Newton masks. Us, 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 shouted the people wearing... You are now a part of our socialistic government. Right? The leader shouted to the people wearing the Newton masks. Us, 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 shouted the people, banging their fists on their desks over and over again. Newton's joy of believing he was free began to fade rapidly, being replaced by great anger. For over 20 years he struggled and sweated to show the universe that he was good, and that it wasn't his fault for attacking the civilizations of the universe. He had great expectations on being free after killing the Black Mutant. The news telling him that he wasn't, and that it was just a trick to help use him in the future as a super slave, made his mutated blood boil. Newton said, "So you're going to kill a few people and blame me for it, in case I don't do what you want, huh?" "That is correct," said the leader. "Do you accept?" "There's really nothing you can do to turn us down. That is, if you want to protect your present reputation." Newton lied and said he would. "Hooray!" cheered the people of the meeting place. When they turned off the force field, Newton leaped away from the stand and ran to the doors of the hallway. Suddenly, a huge, thick steel door shot up out of the floor and sealed Newton in the room with the others. It was 5 feet thick. Newton turned to the others and said, "You're forcing me into a situation I've done many times before in my life, and I don't want to do it again. My artificial limbs have been charged to their fullest extent." "Me, me, me," shouted the people. Newton turned to the powerful doors and began putting huge dents in it from his powerful punches. It sounded like a cannon going off. The leader laughed, knowing that no matter how much damage Newton did to the door, it would be practically impossible to escape through the door. Newton realized that and turned to the people again. Then he began digging around the door, tunneling a foot a minute. "Oh no!" shouted the leader with fright. Newton was escaping. Newton heard a loud humming sound and turned around. A large phaser had come out of the ceiling of the cave and pointed down at him. It started glowing. Right when it was about to fire, Newton leaped out of the way. The ray hit the area where Newton was tunneling. So powerful was the laser that it tunneled away 4 feet of ground, making a little light shine through from the hallway. "Get him!" shouted the leader with anger. The people wearing Newton masks reached under their desks and pulled out machine guns. Newton flew off the floor and leaped around on the stalactites The people began firing at him, doing just what Newton planned. The stalactites began raining down on them, sticking in their heads and backs. Newton flew down and began throwing them here and there as the machine gun's bullets shot into him, exploding his artificial limbs and denting his hard, mutated skull. The leader ran up some steps and began to escape through a secret compartment. Newton threw another Newton-masked man up against the cavern wall, then followed the leader. The people... Newton found people chained up to walls, unconscious, and saw a spiral staircase leading up to a control room. Newton flew up the stairs. It was the only place where the leader could have run to. Newton saw someone sitting at a control panel wearing a Newton mask. Newton spun the person around and ripped the Newton mask off of him, only to find the man wearing a walrus mask. Underneath the Newton mask, it was the leader who started shouting, "Me, me, me, me," over and over again at Newton through the walrus mask. The leader shoved Newton back, turned to the control panel, and pressed a button on the control panel. Newton clobbered the "me, me, me" shouting leader over the head, knocking him out, and began to look over the control panel. The leader had pressed the overload button to the generator of the city, starting an overload that would blow up the entire city Newton was in, making it explode like an exploding H-bomb. There was only 2 minutes until it went off. Newton tried to turn it off, but once it was activated, there would be no stopping it. Newton gave up and flew out of the control room, killing the people who were about to shoot and blast him. Then he tried to save the people who were chained up. There were 5 of them, and there was just 50 seconds until the city exploded. A loud humming sound started up, getting louder and louder. Newton couldn't save the people who were chained up. He did take one of the chained up girls and said, "Hold on tightly." When Newton ran into the meeting place, only 5 people were left. Newton put the girl down in a safe place, out of the range of their fire, and got them all with a machine gun. The laser in the ceiling began firing at Newton every time he got near the doorway. Newton flew at it and smashed the thing, then decided to try to save the 4 others. But there was no way Newton could carry them all. He felt terrible about it, and there was only 10 seconds until the city exploded. "No," shouted Newton. The time seemed to be flying. The noise got louder and louder. Newton gave up. He grabbed the girl, smashed through the hole the laser created, flew down the hallway, crashed through a wall, then flew up into the sky as fast as his mind could get him to go. When he was a mile away from the city, the entire city exploded. Newton was 2 miles away when the shockwave hit him, and 3 miles away when the blast hit him. But He and the girl survived. A week later, Tusco picked Newton and the girl up. Through the great technology of the people of Kryptonite, they were able to save the girl from the harmful effects of the radiation. Newton felt bad that he couldn't have saved the others. A week later, Newton visited Mason on the moon, where he began his mutant life. Mason and the others were the same, and doing what they were made to do. Tusco healed Callisto back to normal from his radiation burns Newton accidentally caused a long time ago. It had been over 10 years since Newton had visited the moon last time, since the Cyclops were on it. After 2 days of visitation, Major Matt Mason asked, Newton, now that you have proved to everyone that you are good, and now that you are able to live freely without everyone trying to kill you, what are your plans now? Newton said, to go to Kryptonite and live in the dimensions of the past. After that, Newton beamed up with his new girlfriend and said goodbye to the galaxy they were native of. After that, the Jupiter 4 shot off into the stars and left the Milky Way behind, never to return again. And that was the last Mason and his crew, and the rest of the universe, ever saw of Newton again. The end. Newton the Great started in January. Okay. And that was the end. That was the last Mason and his crew, and the rest of the universe ever saw Newton again. The end. Newton the Great started in January 22nd, 1981, and ended February 19th, 1982. Newton might return again in Newton's Time Odyssey. And of course, Newton did return again in Newton's Time Odyssey, which is coming up on, not this tape, but another one. Ugh.